Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You are about to listen to the Dr. Daliah Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Daliah Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Daliah.
All right. We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. Daliah, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So the psychology of the average American is fascinating and fairly predictable in a good way. And I've been watching what's been happening back and forth through the Biden administration, the Trump administration on people's love for Tesla or their adoration for Elon Musk. And it was fascinating how Elon Musk, who did amazing things as it pertained to innovation in the electric vehicle industry and in terms of space and SpaceX, went from being a favorite to a Nazi and a fascist, and people made fun of his kid, all because he supported Trump. Well, what people don't understand is if you really dislike somebody, okay, use some common sense. There's a smarter way to garner public opinion if you dislike somebody and you want to, find similar opinions to how you feel about a certain individual, than going the other way and committing crimes. And so now Elon Musk's popularity, even though it was, I know some people think this is controversial, but even though Elon Musk was becoming very, very popular for those who were against waste, fraud, and abuse, now his popularity is just skyrocketing. And in fact, people all over are saying, I'm going to buy a Tesla. I'm going to buy a Tesla. And for those individuals who want to be anti somebody, just don't do domestic terrorism. Don't commit crimes. Listen, Elon Musk has his share of critics. Now, I was not a fan of what he did in terms of firing federal workers and the chainsaw. And listen, I want waste, fraud, and abuse found as well. But when you have, people who are actually showing up to, like I said, the ones working remotely were given an option to come back to work or get a nice severance where they get, paid leave until September. But when individuals said, no, I'm working, I'm loyal, I'm coming to work, and for them to get canned, that was an issue. And I understand you want to save money. There's other ways to do it, like the way the Pentagon's doing it, where, look, we're just not going to rehire the people who are already retiring. Hey, we're not going to just necessarily flatline departments by just firing willy-nilly. So, Elon Musk already kind of had some criticism on that level, but no, people took it too far. And when you have individuals who see, like Trump, almost get assassinated, or you see what's happening across Tesla dealerships across the country, they're going to kind of unite for the opposite side of you. And if you're thinking that doing harm and doing this is going to bring applause, although the Daily Show audience was clapping as they were seeing the destruction, they were clapping, seeing Cybertrucks and Tesla vehicles on fire. Really? Really? That's something applaudable? Why weren't you applauding when the stranded astronauts came back home? Yeah, and I just find it fascinating how the more people do evil to somebody, the more it actually garners more support. Now, I can't tell you how many people said, look, I really wasn't a fan of Trump, but they tried to kill him. I mean, look at what they're doing to him. And now the concept of deep state, the concept of individuals deciding to go to the extremes to get what they want. Now, those individuals are not looking like the party of common sense. There are very, very intelligent Democrats. There are Democrats with common sense. But the Democratic Party has to be very, very careful now. Because if at all they are in support of vandalism or domestic terrorism, now they're losing their common sense. And so when you see this flip-flop, it's fascinating to me. Now, people say they want to buy a Tesla to support Elon Musk. Will that support Elon Musk? I think it'll help out his Teslas, but the guy's already the richest man on in the country or on Earth. Is it a country? Anyway, I mean, if you do want to do that, that's wonderful. I'm still hesitating because I'm not really excited about the batteries, and knowing me, I'm going to hit a tree, and I'm still not 100% on board. I think they're cool, and I will eventually get one. But, I just paid off my current car. I'm going to hold on to it, and I like it. It's a V8. So I'm happy. But, the more people see asinine, evil, unfathomable actions that are not supposed to be a part of our human personality, that's not supposed to be part of our ethos and our ethics. If the more that happens, the more we're seeing people look at Elon Musk as more of a hero. Now, I already think he's a hero because what he did with SpaceX. Really, NASA's, has astronauts that are stranded. Boeing's Starliner can't pick them up. And we have to rely on private enterprise to save people that the government can't save. That was already, to me, huge. As far as I'm concerned, it's a win. Fighting waste, fraud, and abuse, an absolute win. Now, can we go a little easier on the firings of federal workers and fire only those that deserve to be fired and not those that don't, or offer nice severances for those who do? Layoffs in private industry happen all the time. And how they do it is they say, look, we're going to have to make cuts. And so for those of you that want to voluntarily leave, just like giving up your airplane ticket, we have, a nice severance package. But we are going to make cuts. And, people might say, look, I'm at the age where I want to retire. I don't want my colleagues to get fired. So, I'll take one for the team and I'll take a really nice severance package. That happens all the time in private industry. It's just right now, this massive firing is making people dislike Elon, but really dislike him to the point that you're going to become domestic terrorists. Are you kidding me? Come on, people. So whatever you're doing is working in the opposite direction because people are really loving Elon. And wait till they get their checks, which I'll tell you about in a second. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH. Don't go away.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-710-5100. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell our listeners who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me join you to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now and find out how much your case is potentially worth. Call 800-710-5100.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. If you think you deserve compensation, call now to find out how much you qualify for. 800-710-5100.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
diesel fuel cetane levels.
The cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to totalwellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. totalwellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
All right. We are back on Dr. Daliah Show. 1-877-Dr. Daliah, 1-877-DOC-DALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Danielle, our producer, and big thanks to y'all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Dr. Daliah, Facebook, The Dr. Daliah Show, and on YouTube. Click like and subscribe. Okay, so the next topic I just want to talk about because I know it's on a lot of people's minds, and while Elon Musk is getting all the headlines in the news, obviously people are asking, well, where's my money? Okay, part of the psychology of you telling somebody they're going to get something. Many of you have already spent your $5,000 Doge dividend check. But what is wrong with me? Why can't I speak? I need my caffeine. So these Doge dividend checks, I think, are absolutely brilliant. I would just do it a completely different way. So from what I understand, what Elon Musk wants to do, as well as another individual got credit for this, even though I think a lot of us had asked for ways for the money back. James Fishback, CEO of the investment firm Azoria, gets credit because he has championed this initiative and he had the pull to actually make it a lot more to catch Elon Musk's eye to make this happen. And the concept is while Doge is saving taxpayer money and finding waste, fraud, and abuse, we get it back. I mean, when American citizens or Americans hear that their tax dollars got wasted, or UPenn gets $1 billion, that one university alone gets $1 billion a year, really? Or they got at least $1 billion last year. And then you say, look, guys, we saved you money. Right? Taxpayers are like, yay. Yeehaw, where is it? Yeehaw. Yay, thank you. Yeah, so you want to let people feel they have skin in the game. Now, I know the opposite happens when Congress says, well, we're going to appropriate these billions to this billions to this, and politicians go, look at your tax dollars. The average person goes, I just don't feel it. I'm paying up the yin-yang. I'm barely making money. It's nothing's going to change. So even if you tell me you're going to spend $1 billion less, I don't see any change in my wallet. So these Doge dividend checks are brilliant. If you are saving taxpayer money, then let the taxpayers get it back. Now, what's the best way to do that? Do you tell them, look, next year, pay less? Do you just give them outright money, $5,000? Do you give them, which is a calculation off the trillions that Elon Musk and Doge plans on saving? It's a percentage of that for every American. Or do you give a tax rebate? They're paying taxes, so then rebate or do a tax refund or I don't know. So there's a variety of ways this could be done. It's not going to happen till next year. Okay, we're not going to see the money this fiscal year, from what I understand, because Congress has to approve it, and they actually have to see the money saved. So even though Elon Musk has found, expired contracts, dead people on Social Security allegedly, I mean, did you see that list of somebody 300 years old and 150 years old? And I get it. Some people could still be on the roll. But if the Social Security Administration is that back-assward in terms of their documentation and their data collection and inventory, then what else can they be backwards on? So as far as I'm concerned, there's probably fraud in Social Security as well. By the way, you can't convince me that all that tax money that you took out of my paychecks all those years is sitting in a fund saying Daliah wax for me to get for Social Security. No, you guys have been spending it. And then by the time I'm old enough for Social Security, you'll be saying, oh, we're running out. So there's obviously waste, fraud, and abuse everywhere. But the issue I have is if you just give a $5,000 check, people will forget it. Like, remember Obama, I think, gave a stimulus check, or it's nice and it should come back to taxpayers, but they then forget. People forget. What I think should be done is as the savings happen, each fiscal quarter, we get something. Now, I understand it costs money to cut the checks, but I think that would probably be a lot more effective, especially if you want, Americans to be engaged. The way we're going to cut waste, fraud, and abuse is not just Elon and his team. It's just everybody else has to see it and call it. Remember I told you I met somebody on the plane ride from New York who said she saw a building built next to where she works, beautiful building. Then they tear part of it down. And then they're starting construction all over. And she's like, what's going on? I thought what was wrong with the building? Was something wrong? And they said we were under budget. So if we rebuild part of it, we then make budget. Okay. You see, this is what we as Americans have to call. Our tax dollars are going to this BS. And again, I'd really like to know why one university alone is getting $1 billion. How much other billions of dollars are going to universities when that money could be going to homeless, could be going to sick kids, cancer treatment, hospitals, community hospitals. I'm really confused by where our tax dollars are going. So giving a $5,000 Doge check next year is nice, but already people have spent it. And their minds are they're buying a new Tesla with it, or it's already spent on Amazon. Credit card is waiting for that payment. It's not going to come anytime soon. But what I suggest is rather than waiting for the trillions to be saved, if you are saving billions, then start refunding now. It could be a little bit. It could be $50. It could be $100. But if it's going to be an ongoing process, then, and this saving is going to, manifest throughout the 4 years of Trump's presidency, then maybe give people checks throughout those, even if they're smaller than the 5,000. Guys, this is what we found. These were the expired contracts. This was some of the waste, fraud, and abuse. Here we go. It averages to $150 for everybody back. You're going to get that in March. Now we're going to tell you, we'll work again. And then by June, hopefully it'll even be bigger. By September, even bigger. And then rather than people burning, Tesla dealerships are probably going to be like, okay, keep finding this. And this is a very unique attitude of the government to find ways to shrink the government and give money back to the taxpayer, but you don't have everybody on board because they still don't feel it. So the Doge dividend checks are brilliant. It's just a one-time thing is going to go, in one Amazon cart and out the other. I think people need to be engaged and understand this is an ongoing process. Now, I don't want people fired just for me to get $150 or $200 or $5,000. All right. If government is inflated, if it is too big, if we have people playing solitaire at their desk, if you're really having 5 people hired to do the job of one, if we really don't need the 88,000 IRS agents, all right, make sense. Do moves that make sense to people. But, money and another concern people have is, are those individuals who don't pay taxes getting money back? If you pay taxes and if you overpaid your taxes, you should get that money back. Now, you would think with all the IRS agents that Biden hired, they could actually do precision refunds and say, here, okay, Daliah, you paid this in taxes, you get this back. I don't mind. I think everybody getting an equal number is at least faster than trying to figure out who gets what back. But we are owed this money back. If UPenn stops getting $1 billion a year, and that money is not necessarily going to other programs, then give it back. Can you imagine the amount of money the government is spending? And I could kind of imagine it because look at all the billions of dollars of taxes they're getting. Now, I understand they're printing money too, but people who pay taxes want some transparency. And when we're hearing about some of this BS that's happening, and I'm not saying everybody has to love Doge. I understand people are kind of mixed. And like I said, I really wasn't happy with the way federal workers were getting fired. Better way to do it. But I do understand that if there is waste, fraud, and abuse, rip the Band-Aid off. You can't be like, could you guys please stop doing that? I've had employees, I've had employers, I've seen people steal. And when that happens, you can't hope that they will find God and convert and you got to stop the faucet. But I say start doing the Doge checks now, even if they're smaller, so people could see in real time what money is being saved and be engaged throughout this process. 1-877 Doc Daliah. Dr. Daliah here. Are you tired, burned out, gaining weight, succumbing to the daily pressures of life? Well, how's your dopamine doing? How you feel right now, how you'll feel an hour from now, and how you'll feel next week is completely reliant on your dopamine. Our daily motivation and willingness to push through challenges depends on the intricate chemical process dopamine provides. Christian Kalikas and I created Deploying Dopamine, a book that tells you what dopamine is, when it dysfunctions, and how to successfully deploy it when needed. Find Deploying Dopamine on Amazon today. Check it out.
Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
All right. We are back at the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOC-DALI. Okay, so one thing I really fear as a doctor and then as myself as a patient is I don't want to get chronic back pain. Seeing what my patients went through with their chronic back pain scared the living daylights out of me. I don't want to have any chronic pain. And sadly, the older we get, the more we run the risk of having back issues. The more car accidents we're in, the more ski accidents we're in, the more things that get done to us. I forget how many total car accidents I've been in. I forget. But that did a number on my back and my neck. And when I say neck, I'm also including neck. I'm talking about the spine, the cervical, thoracic, and lumbar. And then even coccyx. Sometimes my coccyx hurts. It's our old rudimentary tail. And So when I see individuals struggle with low back pain, they could be on a variety of different treatments, anywhere from anti-inflammatories and pain medications to injections to surgery to chiropractic manipulation or osteopathic manipulation to massage to ice. And there are a lot of things we use for low back pain. But a recent study said only 1 in 10 of them actually work. Now, we got to take the study with a grain of salt, because if you have low back pain and you love your osteopathic doctor or chiropractor, or you love your massages, or you love your injections, okay, then it's helping you. But this study on a whole really kind of looked at things, and let me kind of review that with you. So this was a study that was published in BMJ Evidence-Based Medicine. And they found 1 in every 10 treatments, so maybe 10% of them, may be effective in relieving low back pain. Chronic back pain is one of the most common types of pain, affecting 16 million Americans. I think that number is grossly underrated. I think it's even more. But according to Dr. Aidan Cashin, Deputy Director for the Center for Pain Impact at Neuroscience Research Australia and Conjoint Senior Lecturer in the School of Health Sciences in Sydney, he says, our review did not find reliable evidence of large effects for any of the included treatments. Now, they looked at 300 randomized controlled trials, looked at data on 56 non-surgical treatments, 56 different ones for acute low back pain, chronic low back pain, a combo of that. And they looked at pharmacological, like NSAIDs, like Motrin, naproxen, muscle relaxants, non-pharmacological exercise and massage. And they said ineffective treatments for acute low back pain, meaning back pain that's happening acutely, over the period of hours, days, weeks, were found. The ineffective ones included exercise, steroid injections, and Tylenol. They said chronic low back pain, antibiotics, and anesthetics were also unlikely to be suitable treatment options. Now, antibiotics. This is being reported by Fox News. If antibiotics were tested, you should not really be using antibiotics for pain. However, a lot of people are doing that because they notice their UTI pain goes away, their throat pain goes away within an hour of taking an antibiotic. So we think there might be some anti-inflammatory effect, or maybe there's a change when the antibiotic comes in and there's starting to be this pharmacological change. The inflammatory cells might be like, all right, guys, let's back off, because a lot of our pain is from our inflammatory cells and the inflammation that ensues. And so there's a chance that maybe that's why people feel better from bronchitis or sore throat or UTIs when they take an antibiotic from a pain perspective, because there might be some sort of a negative feedback mechanism on the inflammatory components. But I don't know what's been studied in that. I just know people say antibiotics help them with their pain, but they say don't be doing that. For acute low back pain, they said non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like your Motrin, your ibuprofen, naproxen could be effective. For chronic low back pain, they said therapies including exercising, taping, spinal manipulation through osteopaths or chiropractors, antidepressants, transient receptor potential vanilloids, these TRPV1 agonists, is a new science, or a new avenue of medications that could be used for pain, very targeted and very, very cool. But they said even though they can be effective, the effects were small. So the findings were inconclusive for many other treatments due to the limited number of randomized participations and poor study quality. They say we need further high-quality placebo-control trials to understand the efficacy of these treatments. So that's why I said, guys, take this with a grain of salt, okay? I mean, just because this study says, well, chiropractic or osteopathic manipulation may not work for long-term low back pain. Listen, they even said that the study had limitations. So if you like it, do it. If you don't like it, if it doesn't work, you don't do it. If the injections help, great. If they don't, they don't. But what I think is really going on is people's back pain. It really depends. Is it a disc issue? Is it arthritic issue? Is it a dependence on pain medications? Is it a threshold issue? Is it a low serotonin issue? I know some of you are like, antidepressants. Why are they studying that? Well, because we found people with lower serotonin may be more prone to hurt. Yet when your serotonin is higher, it may not. But like, did you guys ever bang your elbow and hit your funny bone? And on days when you're in a bad mood, you're like, son of a... But on days when you're in a good mood or you're excited about something or you're at a concert, this is what really blows my mind. Concert injuries. I'm not talking about the severe ones. How many times have we been banged around and somebody hitting your head or tripping you and you falling and bleeding or whatever, but you're at a concert, you're having a good time, you don't feel it. You might feel it the next day. So when your endorphins are up, your serotonin's up, your dopamine is up, yeah, that could have an effect on pain. So that's why those things were studied. But some people have such severe spinal stenosis or narrowing of their spinal cord, such severe pathology causing their pain, that yes, a lot of these things might not work. You know, a lot of when somebody does have severe back pain, the medical providers, and I see thousands upon thousands of pages of notes every month because I do disability exams for the state and workers' comp exams. And you'll see doctors will say, look, we could do a trial before we jump to surgery. We could do a trial of anti-inflammatories. We could do a trial of physical therapy, trial of massage, hot, cold packs, injections. But if it fails, we might have to go and do surgery. But no doctor's going to jump right to surgery for back pain, without at least trying conservative measures. They're called conservative measures. So for some people, it does work. They say, you know what? I don't need surgery. It's livable. I'm fine. I could deal with this. It's not getting worse. For others, they go, I can't take it anymore. I need the surgery. Now, another thing, too, that I always tell people is if you had a life where you were 0 out of 10 pain, and you never felt pain, and all of a sudden you've been in a car accident, or you've had a broken bone, or you have an issue, your pain threshold's different. Success, yes, albeit amazing success, would be going back to 0 out of 10, but you might be at a 1 or 2, and that might be the best you're going to get. And you have some individuals that will sadly hurt themselves by taking pain pills and do other things because they're like, but I'm not pain-free. So because I'm still having some pain, I need to take something. I need to do more. And they don't realize that the 1 or 2 out of 10 might be your new norm. I have hip pain and knee pain. I was very lucky after my ski accident or after my car accidents to go down to 0 pain. But on some days, if I think about it, I'm like, okay, wow, yeah, it's a 2. That's a 3. And doesn't mean I have to take a medication for it if it's livable, But if you're having chronic inflammation, sometimes we do like to minimize that inflammation, but you got to be careful with these NSAIDs like Motrin and naproxen because it can affect your kidneys, your heart, your stomach, and your liver. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH. Don't go away.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by right now. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-910-7500. That's 800-910-7500. Call now to find out how much your case could be worth.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Self-reliance. It's not a phrase we hear much in our culture these days. It might conjure up images of pioneers, the West, rifles, strapping men, and strong women. But what does it mean for us in today's world? The New American Magazine has just released its latest collector's edition, Self-Reliance, Foundation of Freedom. In it, the New American authors outline the necessity of self-reliance for a free people, tips for self-reliant living, and the importance of not giving up hope. This unique edition includes articles on the self-sufficiency of the founders, preparing for a worst-case scenario, firearms, financial self-reliance, the importance of community, and many other topics by expert writers. Now, for a limited time, the New American is offering a bundle of 3 collector's editions: Self-Reliance, The Great Reset, and Trump World for just $19.95. Available at shopjbs.org. Visit shopjbs.org today.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
All right. We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So we're being told that this Thursday, or today, Trump plans to sign an executive order calling for the shutdown of the U.S. Department of Education. Now, that doesn't mean he has congressional approval. There still has to be a process, but it is symbolic of him making good on his promises, because many people have been very frustrated with the agency created by Jimmy Carter not doing its job once they saw the amount of money they're spending and the lack of results with our kids, with their reading proficiency, their math proficiency, and not to mention their mental health. These kids are not healthy kids. They're not healthy as it pertains to their diet. They're not healthy based on their mental health, and their academics aren't healthy. So we're being told that he is going to, according to KOMO News, to symbolically, through this executive order, end the Department of Education. He has said it was wasteful, polluted by liberal ideology, but he is going to need an act of Congress. The department was created in 1979, so this wasn't a department created by our founding fathers by any means. This is a very new department. And, Trump, which is why he caught the attention of a lot of Gen Zs and younger voters, is challenging some of these semi or quasi-traditional things that have tried to become permanent. And so Secretary Linda McMahon, who is currently the secretary of the Department of Education, is supposed to technically find herself a new job, but not yet. Okay, she is working to ensure, to quote, take all necessary steps to facilitate the closure of the Department of Education and return education authority to the states, while continuing to ensure the effective and uninterrupted delivery of services, programs, and benefits on which Americans relied. I know everybody's like, oh my God, these kids are going to now suffer. Okay, they are making sure that nothing has happened to the school food program, which I think is also part of the USDA and Department of Agriculture. And there's the kids are still going to get their free lunch, although many of them just throw it away in the garbage because school lunches taste like crap. But no, they're still getting fed. There's still going to be school. And remember, there was, schools existed before 1979, the creation of the Department of Education. And I'm always a fan of states' rights and states having more control. The only issue I have, the caveat I have, is parents were begging their local school districts to take action as it pertains to the lockdowns, masks, vaccines, sexual content. And it looked like their, pleads were falling on deaf ears. So the only thing I'm concerned about is who is then the go-to for these local school districts that are driving parents up the wall. Now, somebody could say, Dr. Daliah, if the Department of Education, is not behind what these local school districts, are doing, in terms of some of the, sexual content being introduced prior to sex ed in middle school and other things like that, then the states are going to have jurisdiction, and there is going to be somebody within the school district or within the state government to oversee that. I'm not sure. I'd like to see more details, because the Department of Education, to me, was asleep. So my issue with the Department of Education, why I don't mind if it gets closed, is the people were sleeping on the job as it pertained to making sure no child was left behind. Kids were going to school. Kids were safe at school. Kids were learning what they needed to. And so, as far as I'm concerned, save the money. But I was really, really frustrated seeing parents get muted on the mics when these trustee boards or these school board meetings didn't want to necessarily. They were very cold and, thank you. Next comment. We will shut down your mic if you overuse your time. We will. And then when people were clapping, when parents were saying, look, this is ridiculous. My child has asthma. They need to breathe. Let my child take off her mask. And people would clap. They're like, we're going to kick you out. I mean, it was really a very eerie sort of process. And parents felt like if they wanted to get their point across, that they could be shut up and silenced at any time. And that was on the local level. So, yes, you want to close down the Department of Education, that's fine, but somebody's got to do something from a local standpoint, because these parents were not heard. And like I said, one of our local schools is being sued because a mom brought up to the school board meeting that her child she was 15 years old, had to do in one of the Las Vegas schools this monologue where she's staring at another boy. They both had to, I think, come up to the front of the class or in the center of the circle, whatever. And she had to say she didn't want his penis in her because that's not her, she chooses females. And that and she's just staring at his groin. And this isn't what she wanted to say. This was something written for her by another student to perform. Why are 15-year-olds having, you know how embarrassing that is and how embarrassing for that boy? By the way, that's a Title IX offense. Anything that makes you uncomfortable sexually is not even supposed to be anywhere near school. And if that type of stuff was happening in terms of class, so parents are suing. Now, the Department of Education, don't know where they were involved with this, but this is a local issue. So I'm just not convinced that locally the school districts are going to do what they need to do. But if Trump cannot fix the Department of Education, and it might have to be reestablished, but the purpose of the Department of Education is to make sure there were guidelines and these guidelines were adhered to. And instead, there was so much other focus and priority on transgender students in bathrooms and sports and DEI that, people voted for Trump to close this Department of Education down. So advocates for public schools said eliminating the department would leave children behind. Well, they're already behind. Now, many people feel that it's unequal, that Baltimore schools have a different playing field than Westchester County schools, let's say, in New York. Listen, no child should be left behind. And every school district needs to ensure that they have the proper funding and they have the proper, and they're going to get more money. Now that money doesn't have to go to the Department of Education and their buildings and all that, they are going to get more money. How it's going to be distributed, not sure. But right now, you have not convinced me that the Department of Education has done their job and has made it more fair, because we're still having Baltimore children fail. So I think the states could then prioritize. Now, I know one big issue in my neck of the woods in Southern Nevada is marijuana was legalized with the promise that a lot of that extra tax money is going to the schools. And all I hear from teachers is, where's the money? Where did the money go? So there could be, corruptness. There could be unethical stuff happening, even granularly at the local levels. But I think states may be in a better position if now they are tasked to run the schools to do that. So I think it's a good move. We'll see what happens. 1-877 Doc Daliah.
Did you know that healthy arteries make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open by relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss of this precious gas, and in turn, blood pressure can go up, energy can go down, and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to TotalWellness.com. That's TotalWellness.com, where we are helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.